Okay, let me get something. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel, Real Talk Recovery, where we talk about recovery from addiction and I share my life with you. My name is Nicole and I'm an addict, and my sobriety date is July 13th of 2015. So the last 3 days, I have had quite a few people reach out to me about my experience with benzodiazepine withdrawal. And I made a video the other day all about what it was like for me going through withdrawal. And so what I want to do is I want to go back to that, and I want to explain some stuff to you guys, and I want to reassure you, those of you who are going through benzodiazepine withdrawal, that everything is going to be okay and that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So first of all, it's important for you to know that when I jumped off of benzodiazepines, I was on an extremely high dosage. I was taking 4 bars a day, anywhere from 4 bars a day to 7 bars a day. And I was doing this for many, many years. Xanax was a staple in my life. And if I could not get Xanax, then I would get Klonopin. If I could not get Klonopin, I would get Valium. If I could not get Valium, I was freaking out, right? Because Xanax, Klonopin, and Valium were the things that I didn't take any really other ones. I didn't take Ativan or Librium or anything like that. But those were the drugs that I took with my Roxys when I shot Roxys. And that is every single time that I've ever overdosed was because I was taking benzos behind shooting Roxys, which roxicodone is an opiate. I would inject it into my veins, and then I would take Xanax, and then I would overdose and stop breathing. And so there's many times where I went to the hospital due to overdosing. So first of all, I want you guys to know that I'm not a doctor, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a counselor. I am just a girl who's here on the internet sharing her experience. I have a lot of experience in drug addiction because I have been addicted to drugs for many, many years. I have been sober for 4 years, and that is like, being sober is the best thing that ever happened to me. My recovery is so important to me. I'm so grateful. Like, I don't know where I would be if I hadn't gotten sober. I would be dead. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about today is I've gotten so many questions from a couple of you guys who are really, really struggling with benzodiazepine withdrawal. And the main question I'm getting is, what is stabilization? How do I know when I'm stabilized at my dose? Okay. And the second question I'm getting is, when will I feel normal again? So let's talk about stabilizing. Okay. First of all, I'm not a medical professional, but when I think about stabilizing and when I am referring to stabilizing at a certain dose, what I mean is when I'm tapering down, even like now that I'm tapering on my Suboxone, each taper that I drop down, I can, like lately here, I've been able to tell that those milligrams have been taken away. Okay. And so what will happen is I will start experiencing, maybe I'll yawn a little bit, maybe I'll feel a little bit of discomfort. And when I stabilize at the dose, that discomfort, those symptoms will go away. They will slowly dissipate. So when I'm saying, you need to make sure that you stabilize at your dose, that's what I mean, that your body has adjusted to that dosage and you are no longer experiencing withdrawal symptoms anymore. So you are comfortable and you're leveling out. Okay. And then the second question I'm getting is, when am I going to feel normal again? And this question, you guys, I don't want to discourage anybody, so I'm not going to say you're going to feel normal again in 6 months, because I can't say that for certain. Okay, I can only tell you what my experience was with benzodiazepine withdrawal. Okay, so I jumped off of benzos cold turkey. I was having my husband sneak them into me at the rehab. I got busted and they took them away, and I was cold turkeyed off of them. I didn't go into detox, nothing. I just had to sit in the rehab and go through sleepless nights, go through, oh, it was awful, you guys, because I was going through such a hard time because I was missing my son. I was worried. I was afraid. My husband was, out running the streets, and I didn't know if he was sober or not, so I was stressing. So it was not an easy experience just getting the rug pulled out from underneath me. But I have suffered through so many withdrawals that it was just another one to mark on the calendar. Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, the only way I can gauge this is I can tell you this. The first 6 months of my sobriety, I was extremely awkward. I was socially awkward. I would stutter. I would be embarrassed to talk in front of people. When I would go to work, I would feel like everyone was staring at me. Okay, I was so uncomfortable. And that was the first 6 months of my sobriety, okay? The second 6 months of my sobriety, I started to realize that I was becoming more comfortable at my job. I started the feeling that everyone was watching me and everyone was judging me, that feeling was starting to go away, right? But I was practicing going into work. I was talking with my sponsor every day. I was going to therapy. I was seeing my son and making visitations with the DHS office. Me and my husband were going to meetings together. Like, I was extremely proactive in my recovery to transition, to life without benzos. The only thing I can tell you, the thing that really affected me the most was the social, the not being able to socialize with a bunch of people in public. Going to the grocery store and stuttering over my words because I love to talk to people. But when I jumped off benzos and I was cold turkey and I was, in my first 6 months of sobriety, I couldn't go to the grocery store and talk to people without stuttering. I couldn't go to the cash register and pay for something without feeling embarrassed, without feeling overwhelming sense of anxiety, without my heart starting to beat out of my chest, okay? Now, those side effects lasted for me for about a year. Okay, for about a year, I was awkward as hell. I was stuttering. I didn't know how to talk to people in large groups. Like, I was just awkward. But after that first year passed by, hey, Jexie, after that first year passed by, I started to do my YouTube channel because my sponsor wouldn't let me have a channel until I had been sober for a year, or I started doing Facebook first. And I started doing Facebook Lives, and that was like kind of a way that I eased into like public speaking and talking in front of a lot of people. And I have just practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced. But jumping off cold turkey benzos, I would be walking into the store, hey Danny boy, and I would have this like fight or flight almost, to where my heart would start beating really fast, and I would look around and I would feel like everything was coming in on me like this, right? I still experience like these feelings where I now know what it is. It's like where your head and your body don't feel attached. I think it's called depersonalization or derealization, but it's where you almost feel like you're not inside your body, right? So many of you guys have been reaching out to me and saying, when am I going to feel better? When am I going to feel better? When am I going to be back to my old self? And I cannot answer that for you, that you will be better at the same amount of time that I've gotten better, right? Did you have an anxiety disorder before you quit them? Yeah. That's why I had gotten prescribed them legally when I was working at the revenue office back in 2005, I think, I got prescribed them legally because I was having panic attacks at my job. Because at the job I worked at, it was such a busy office that I would have a line of people, and it was like all this pressure on me, and people were waiting and they were looking at me, and I was trying to go fast, right? And so I was really having a hard time, like being overwhelmed. So I went into my doctor and told him, and they put me on Xanax, peach Xanaxes, the 0.5s, I think. So you were able to deal with anxiety without them. Oh, girl, yes. But I do take Wellbutrin and Lexapro, and that Lexapro I think helps with my anxiety a little bit, you guys. But what has happened is I've had to learn how to cope. And one of the things that you guys don't really know about me is that I'm very afraid. Okay? Ever since I was a little girl, I was afraid of people breaking into our house. I was afraid of someone killing my parents. I was afraid of having a car accident. One of the worst times I have anxiety is when I'm driving my car because I'm deathly afraid of other people hitting me. And I've dealt with this paranoia, this afraidness all my life. All my life. But I cannot take benzos because I will abuse them. So what I have learned to do is I've learned to just realize, and I still have to practice today, because when I get on the interstate, I literally want to die. Like my heart, you can ask Nathaniel, because I'm like, baby, make sure you're buckled up. We're going on a ride, we're going on the big road, you know what I mean? And I'm like, but I'm telling you guys, like, I finally started feeling like I wasn't freaking out and I wasn't afraid to talk to people, and it took me a year. I would go with my sponsor to meetings and I would hide behind her, and I would go out to eat with my sponsor and she would have to order for me because I didn't know how to talk to people sober, and I was so unsure of myself, right? I can tell you this, that if you are struggling with benzodiazepine withdrawal, there is going to be a time where you're going to feel better. I promise you that time is going to come. But what you have to do, and I know you're going to get mad at me, but you got to start focusing on the good things in your life, okay? Obsessing over the way you feel, obsessing over not feeling like yourself, not feeling normal, obsessing over your symptoms and your withdrawal, that's going to keep those feelings going, right? And so we focus so much on that negativity, and what it does is it manifests negativity in our lives. I was talking to a girl today on the phone about how strong and powerful our minds are. And if I'm steadily telling myself that I'm going to fail and that I'm going to never make it and that I'm not going to stay sober and that I'm going to relapse, then guess what's going to happen? I'm going to fail. I'm going to relapse. That's what's going to happen. But if I'm telling myself that I'm going to heal, that I'm going to kick Benzo's ass, that I'm going to win this whole situation, and I'm going to triumph over benzodiazepine withdrawal, and I'm going to be the queen of kicking Xanax's ass, then guess what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be the queen of kicking benzo's asses. I focused so many years on being afraid, okay? On worrying. All these wasted emotions that I had no control over those things. So the only thing I can tell you if you're struggling is to not give up, to please hang on as tight as you can. If any of you guys are struggling and you need someone to talk to, you can email me anytime. I love talking with you guys. I love hearing about what you're struggling with. And if I have been through it, I will tell you everything I did to get out on the other side of it. I'm going to be straight up with you guys. Going through withdrawal from benzos, you have to work through it. It's a process. You're not going to heal overnight, right? We didn't get on benzos overnight. Like, it was a process of working up to where we were at in our addiction or on the medications that we were on, if you weren't a drug addict and you were just prescribed it for many, many years, right? I just want you guys to know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And I was reading, I think it was Robert's comment. So, Robert, shout out to you, bud. You inspired this video. I just want you to know that you're making so much progress. And I want you, in particular, Robert, to start focusing on the progress that you've made in these 18 months, I think you said, since you've been off of benzos, because you are doing amazing. Just don't give up, okay? There are many different exercises that you can do that can help you guys that are struggling with benzo withdrawal. Okay, there's grounding exercises that you go out into the, like, outside in the grass, and you take off your shoes and you let your feet go in the grass, let your hands touch the leaves. Look up grounding exercises, look up benzodiazepine withdrawal help. There's all kinds of natural remedies that you can do that will help you on your journey to healing. But I just want you guys to know, like, at 4 years benzo free, I still have days where my heart starts racing, and I still have days where, like, I'm really afraid and I don't want to drive on the interstate and I struggle, right? But I'm a lot happier now than I was pumping myself full of benzos every day. So I just wanted to pop on and make this short video for my people that have been commenting that are struggling with benzo withdrawal. I know I just made the video yesterday or the day before, but you guys were commenting, and I want you guys to know, like, you're not alone. You have all my support. If you guys need anything from me, all you have to do is email me. I will put my email down below. And yeah, I love you guys. Take it easy, okay? You're doing it. You are doing it. And I'll see you guys Wednesday for story time. Okay? All right, guys. Love y'all.